Welcome to Studio to Studio. Tonight we have something very special for you. We have the female DJs of 4TheMusic.club, which is an internet radio station broadcasting the very best of house and techno. The reason that we're having this tonight is to celebrate International Women's Day on March 8th, where all of these lovely ladies, plus one, who wasn't able to make it this evening, will be broadcasting special sets on International Women's Day. And you'll hear more about that as we go along. I'd like to have everybody introduce themselves. My name is Marilyn Rogers. I'll finish up with my information after. Who would like to go first and introduce yourself?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Start it off. Well, I'm DJ Mello. I've been DJing for around about 2 years now. My name, DJ Mello, actually came from one of my best friend's daughter, who couldn't say my name, so she called me Mello.
Okay.
Which was HK's. Got into it because of my husband, Kid Dynamite DJs, been on previous stations, and basically I love it. I mean, especially live, the interaction we have with the listeners, it's amazing.
And have you spun other stations before?
I've been on 2 stations prior. The first station that I was on I was only like on and off. I would go back to back with Kid Dynamite, do the station. I was quite involved with the station, but then I left and then came on 4TM.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how do you feel about the stations that you've been on and the station that you're on now?
The station that I'm on now is a lot better than the other 2 previous stations, basically due to the interaction with the listeners. It's a lot better. And just everything that you get from the admin group, from the rest of the DJs, everybody's just so supportive.
Right. One of the reason that I asked that question, I'm going to be asking each of you, is because International Women's Day is for equity of women. And recently, Stacy, I'm trying to remember her last name. Okay. And recently there was a documentary done called Underplayed that's going to be released on International Women's Day. And it's about the inequities that female DJs have experienced throughout the world. So, if you've had any inequities or whatever at a station, please feel free to share them.
I'll be honest, on one of the stations that I was on, they basically said that Kid Dynamite was doing my shows, which was not true. Mm-hmm. But obviously, when you're live, people can see that he doesn't do my shows, it is me who does it all by myself. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that is one of the things, because it's not as if a female cannot DJ, and that's how I felt.
Yeah. Had that happen to me as well, believe me.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Yeah. And who's next? Who'd like to go next?
I can go next.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Jenny Geiki, and I'm from Sweden. I've been DJing for sort of a long time, but had also a long break. I started DJing in the beginning of the millennium. I had a friend, a DJ friend called Scott, who introduced me to DJing. So I started playing in bars and also private parties, playing CDs, which seems like now a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's quite different than today, but it was fun. And I really enjoyed it. I've always been in love with music, and I had sort of been brought up living in a home with lots of music. So I early on found that sort of putting on music and sort of curating music, I had a talent for. So when I sort of bumped into DJing, I found really quickly that was my thing. But then I sort of, I didn't really catch on at the time. So I had a big break, and I sort of got into family and other stuff. But then a couple of years ago, I think 4, maybe 3 years ago, I started thinking about what I'm going to do when my kids are sort of soon getting bigger and sort of finding the time to do other stuff. And then the pandemic hit, and I got sort of from my work, I got not laid off, but I got, I don't know what's in English, but I only worked 40%.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I basically had lots of time on my hands to do other stuff. And then I started collecting digital music. I bought some DJ gear, a controller, and I sort of picked up where I left off a couple of years ago. And it was so much fun. So I've been doing it ever since, and sort of trying to get into sort of the scene, trying to get to know people. I started playing online, which is something that I've sort of never done before as well. And just taking it sort of from there. It's still a hobby, but I hope to do it more in the future.
Now you're on For the Music as well.
Yeah.
And any other stations that you've been on?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
And
No.
and you feel comfortable on For the Music?
Yeah, I think it's really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I sort of was brought in on an early stage. They found me online and asked me if I wanted to join.
Nice.
So I was really happy about that, because I had not really seen the opportunities that were online at all. So I think that was fun for me, since I've only been doing DJing live before, sort of in front of an audience.
Right.
So this online thing was quite new to me.
Yeah.
And sort of getting all the tech, sort of all the gears and all the settings and all the streaming stuff. And it's been sort of a nice sort of educational ride, learning all these new skills. So I really like it. Sort of add on to the musical sort of base that I have.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Have you ever experienced any inequities being a female DJ?
I couldn't say I've been around that much, so I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
I get, the only thing I know is that, I mean, there's a history, and I've read a lot about the struggle that female DJs have had previously. There's a few good books here in Sweden about sort of the DJ history of Stockholm that I've read, and also met with all the people that sort of were activists a couple of years ago. And I mean, it's not been easy to be able to sort of break through as a female DJ. You have to work a lot harder often than the guys. I think that's the experience that the other girls have. I don't know if it's true, but I mean, when I'm around now, I actually was this weekend meeting in a DJ meetup in the south of Sweden. It's all guys. I was the single girl there, and they were really friendly, but I mean, you're sort of the odd one out all the time.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that out of the top 100 DJs, maybe anywhere from 3 to 6% are female. So that's interesting. I can't wait for more people to be able to watch Underplayed, because it gives a history of electronic music that was started by a woman by the name of Derbyshire in the UK back in the late 50s, early 60s. So anyway, and Mel, I'm sorry, and you're in the UK, correct?
I am in the UK, yes.
Okay, and England or?
England.
Okay, good enough. So we have one other person that we have to hit here. Hey, Cheryl.
Hi. Right, so I'm Cheryl. I'm in Scotland. I'm not a DJ. I have just started getting lessons.
You're a DJ.
I've had a few lessons from a professional DJ, but I've been so into the music and into the whole scene and doing, the clubbing scene and everything for about 30 years. It's always fascinated me. It's always something that I wanted to do, but I had more time, more fun being on the dance floor. And so it's just never something that I ever did until COVID. And then we were housebound. And then George, my partner, who's part of the 4TM crew and admin, decided that he wanted to get back into it. He used to do it years ago. So he bought decks, then started mucking about, and it was like, right, okay, I'm really enjoying this. So I got some lessons for my Christmas, and now I'm absolutely loving it. There's been a few nights where I've jumped onto his live stream on a Saturday night.
And done very well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Smashed it.
Jen does wonders for the bravery. But do you know what? It's fun, and it's just I'm so enjoying it. Every time I go to a lesson, I'm learning that little bit more, and then it's just giving me more of a, oh my God, I so want to do this. So now I've got the opportunity to be part of International Women's Day, and I'm so excited. Nervous, but I'm so looking forward to it.
And what better way to debut your talents than on International Women's Day on 4TheMusic.club?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a huge thing. It definitely is a huge thing.
Yeah.
So, yes, yeah, excited.
That's terrific. I guess I'll breeze through mine. I'm Marilyn Rogers. I go by M. Rogers or whatever. I've always just used my name. And I started DJing in 1974 when there were no variable speed turntables. But a friend of mine had a brother who was gay, and we started going to the gay clubs, and I got to know the gay DJs who were actually mixing music through a slip cue programming, So I was just totally fascinated, and I was going to this one club, and the guy said to me, the owner said to me, "Do you DJ at all?" I said, "No, just in radio." And he said, "Well," he goes, "I'm looking for a DJ." I said, "Okay." So I started that night. I had no idea what I was doing, and I've been doing it ever since. Quit about 1996 or so because of my work schedule and such. And it wasn't until Robbie Takak of the Goo Goo Dolls, he has this big music festival every year in Buffalo, New York. And I was asked by a DJ by the name of Paul Fox to do the classic DJ stage. And that was in September, and I had never seen a controller before. Because the last thing I spun on were turntables and my Denon CD mixer. And that was it. So that was quite an eye-opener. And my son, God bless him, he saw how enthused I was and how much fun I was having. And he bought me my first controller. And then I started going into online, the internet radio stations. I've been on 2 others. One, they were just filled up with everybody that I was doing like 11 o'clock, at night for as far as the UK was concerned. And the other was a complete bombshell. It was, talk about inequities. You were disregarded. I had the best ratings of the other DJs, but I was disregarded as far as any suggestions to try and promote this station. During that time, I then started also on 4TheMusic.club, and what a difference. I call it the country club of internet radio stations. Everybody is so friendly. The guys are very supportive. It's been phenomenal. So that's all about me. As far as incidents, well, Cheryl knows of one. It was, I think, during the birthday celebration where that one guy on Mixcloud.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, so I decided at that point, just don't even look at Mixcloud, keep on going, and thank God for Cheryl and George to the rescue on that. So, but yeah, it's a situation where throughout my career, it's been hell. It was hell. I mean, it was like trying to keep your head above water when it came to promoting yourself and getting the plays and stuff, till I got to the point where it was like it's full steam ahead. And that's when you start really getting the insults and, what do you think, you're a man? No, I don't. I think I'm a damn good DJ. And I think that's the attitude that a lot of people like Rez and Alice in Wonderland and quite a few of the other major DJs have that attitude now. It's like they're just going for it. Susan Morabito. There's so many out there that are talented people. So anyway, as far as before I start asking any more questions, let's just have a conversation. Uh, Anybody want to speak up and share any experiences or?
Don't
But
have any.
I just want to I just want to comment, Marilyn, on the sort of for the music spirit, which I agree with you on. I've been also very welcomed, and I think we have a sort of a great conversation among all the DJs. And fairly early on, I had a talk with the founder of the station, and we talked about the branding, and we talked about sort of how the station should be perceived. And I very early on, the station had a. I'm saying this because I think it's really nice. Early on, the station had a picture on Facebook and on a Mixcloud with a sort of really young girl in a really tight top. And I asked Chris, do we really need to have a woman as a poster girl? Couldn't we just do sort of nice colors, sort of artistic expression, do stuff that aren't sort of gender-based marketing?
Yeah.
And we had a really good discussion about that, and agreed upon that. Well, we don't need that, because you can do other stuff to promote the station. And I think that was the starting point for me, and also sort of finding a way to have that discussion, and also sort of getting good feedback, and also deciding that you can concentrate to promoting the music. You don't have to sort of do the traditional stuff when you promote.
We call that cheesecake here in the States. And there are some IDs that we have, both male and female, and I tend to go towards the male because it's more direct, with a radio background, where the other one, the woman's a little cheesecake, sexy, you know, it's like, I agree with you on that totally, but at least we have a choice, so.
Yeah, but I think if we're going to do girls, then we have to have really nice picture of boys as well, and that usually doesn't happen.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's always women. It just is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's not have that.
How about you two? How do you feel about, you know, the portrayal of what a woman DJ needs to look like, with the, you know, like wearing a bra and a pair of short shorts, you know, and wild blonde hair blowing in the breeze while she's spinning.
I think the way they say it is sex sells, doesn't it? So that's why they go with the scantily clad women, because that's what people look at, and that's what everybody seems to use as their advertising these days. It's just women half naked.
Yeah, you're right. And I think too that that promotes the possibility that all female DJs are just objectified and bimbos. That's another word, you know, that can be used.
I think me personally, I don't think it matters what you look like, male or female. I mean, at the end of the day, if you can rock a crowd, does it really matter if people are liking what you are playing, whether you can mix or not? Does it really matter what you look like? No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, but that's the way things go, you know. And then, you know, if you're old like me, and I'm old, okay, then they're saying, you're too old to be doing this. No. As a matter of fact, I have a lot of health problems, and it wasn't until I started spinning again that I felt like I'm in my 30s again. You know, it's just the way I feel, because what music does for me and for my soul, you know. And I think all of us are in accordance with that, because we wouldn't be doing what we're doing and enjoying it so much if it really didn't reach down deep into your soul.
My parents, they're in their 70s, and they still go out. They go to concerts. They go, you know, we're in Scotland. They'll take a train down to London and go to events down there. They love their music as well. So I've been brought up always listening to music, and in this house now, there's music playing 24/7. I get up, I put music on in the kitchen, and it's always on. Even if I'm sitting watching TV in the living room, I can still hear the music going on in the kitchen because
That's great.
I have to.
Yeah.
You go to sleep. I've got my sleepy time kind of chilled music playlist that I need to listen to going to sleep. So it's constant.
That's
It's
great.
a big part of our lives anyway, definitely.
And Cheryl, you are the Twitch queen of the, okay. Cheryl gets Twitch going like nobody's business. And could you explain Twitch and what we do on with that? And
I think probably Kathy, our friend from Paris, she's when she gets into the music and she gets quite excited, she will comment and she'll post all these little notes and stuff. And so I kind of got into that as well because it does kind of get you going, and it's just like, okay, we're enjoying the music, and you'll post all these little comments, and it does help, and I think it creates an atmosphere as well. It's like when we try and get a hype train going as well. I mean, the atmosphere then, it's amazing. It's so good. But yeah, I think that's a lot of the time it's good when you've got somebody that's live. I'm not saying not going live is a bad thing, but it's good that we've got so many DJs now. There is so many that do go live. When I first started listening, since George got involved, I mean, it was fairly quiet. But now it's just, there's so many. It's amazing. It's brilliant. But Twitch is definitely the way to go. Mixcloud, I think everybody seems to be leaving Mixcloud and coming on to Twitch.
I think Mixcloud is more of a background. Like
Yeah.
you like to listen to the music in the background. But Twitch reminds me of the best substitute for a club, because the people that I see in the chat are the people that are sitting at the tables in the booths and getting up to dance. And they're having conversations, just like normal conversations like we're having right now. But every once in a while, they're like, oh, yeah, this song here,
Yeah.
And that's where all the emojis come in, and or
Yeah.
emoticons, whatever you call them. And that's where the hype trains start.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
it does make it exciting. It does. When you go into Mixcloud, it's just, there's not much you can do there. And so nobody really chats.
Yeah. Yeah.
I must admit, I was so annoyed, Cheryl, when I missed Chalky G's hype train last Saturday. Like, no.
You said a couple of them. There's a few people have had them now as well, to be fair.
Mhm.
Madeline, you had one as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It does create a buzz. It's quite exciting. Gets everybody going.
So, anybody who's watching this now or into the future, check us out on Twitch, 4themusic.club/official. Is it /official or just official? 4TheMusic official.
Ooh.
I'm not sure.
I normally put .club and then it comes up.
Yeah.
I say
okay.
search and you'll find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go to Twitch, you just need to start typing 4TheMusic and you'll find it. It's there. It's easy to find.
Yeah, it's well worth it, especially on March 8th when we're going to be doing International Women's Day, and I'm sure they'll rebroadcast it, because on times when most people are sleeping, or depending on where you are in the world, where we don't have live DJs, there's recordings of the past performances that are put in regular schedule. So it's worth it. So come on down, and hopefully you'll catch a live DJ and see all the action on chat.
And everybody is so friendly. Everybody is welcomed with open arms.
And from all over the world.
Yeah.
Look at, I mean, we've got Sweden, we've got England, we've got Scotland, we've got the US right here, so it's
We've got France. We've got a DJ in France at the moment,
okay.
which is Rich MB.
Am I the only one from the US?
I'm not quite sure. I think at the moment, yes, but I'm not quite sure.
And we're always looking for more DJs and female DJs. That would be nice.
Best female DJ.
As far as going back to one of the things that we're doing too is we set up a Mixcloud page for all female DJs to follow. It's called Female DJ Stage, all one word. Follow it. We will follow you back. We will start posting your shows and sets, so you can promote on 2 different Mixcloud sites, and you can get more likes and get more notoriety out of it. So it's Female DJ Stage, all one word. So we're hoping to have some more followers on that, because anything we can do to promote female DJs, we're going to try to do our very best.
Yeah,
And-
that's a great initiative, I think. And you have to sort of think that no one else is going to do the promotion for you. So you have to do it yourself.
Anybody have any ideas? One thing, I'm sorry, I just wanted, I have to say that the idea floated into admin for the station. Why don't we do a ladies' night? And it was one of the guys that came up with, it's International Women's Day on March 8th. I think it was DJ Avalanche, wasn't it?
Mm.
And it was like, hey, so it shows that there's good equity in the organization. And thank you very much for that. And it's really spiraled into something that I think is going to be pretty fantastic. So we'll be, online, and we'll go from there. So
I reckon a lot, because obviously normally on 4TM on a Tuesday is Techno Tuesday. Them guys who normally do Techno Tuesday have given up their day time for us to actually express what actual female DJs can do. And I think that's what it is about 4TM as well. All of the DJs, all the female DJs do actually support us female DJs, and they back us 100% definitely. So, and for them to give up their day is like, wow.
Yeah, that's great. That really,
Definitely.
yeah, it's we have DJs from as far away to me. So I'm sort of like in the center, because Europe, Sweden, England, Scotland, and even Australia. So
We've got South Africa.
Pardon me?
Oh, we've got South Africa,
South
Singapore.
Africa. And
Yes.
Singapore?
Singapore,
Yes.
SN, he's in Singapore, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, he is, Cheryl. SN Singapore.
Yeah.
Dubai?
Dubai, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Because Alan Miles is in Dubai, isn't he, at the moment?
France, yeah, we're all over the place.
And what I find is that all of us play just about the same music. So think of music as what a great unifier it is. It unifies us. And I don't know, I'm just...
I think that's so true, because I mean, through 4TheMusic, I met a couple of persons that sort of love exactly the same kind of music as I do. There's a DJ in the Netherlands called Danny, and he plays the most amazing disco house on vinyl.
Danny, yeah.
And I mean, I'm so connected, because we love the same music, and I think that's wonderful, because in here where I sort of live and work, I don't have that many friends that actually like music as much as I do. I have a sort of a small network of DJ friends here, but you need sort of to get to know people like that to be able to exchange experiences and sort of exchange thoughts on musics and songs and talk about sort of your prime interest in a sort of very specialized way. So I love that about music and having an international sort of friendship.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
And it's interesting too, because none of us had actually had conversations, in a face-to-face situation like this. So it's exciting for me to actually see you all and hear you all and be able to speak with you without typing.
Yeah, I know. It's like we've got the big meetup in Loughborough next weekend.
Yes.
That's quite exciting, that a lot of us are actually going to meet each other face to face after such a long time of chatting, as you see over
Thrilling.
So it's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up, you. We know you'll be there.
And
So-
you're all going to be doing some spinning too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yes, I do apologise. I do apologise if you can hear Kid in the background, 'cause he's just agreeing with everything that we said. He's like, yeah, agree. So you might be able to hear him in the background, so I do apologise.
Sisters are doing it for themselves.
There you go. Sisters
Yeah.
are doing it for themselves.
Sisters are doing it.
So I keep telling him, shut up. You know what men are like.
Yeah.
We know that.
It's good
But
to
yeah,
have. It's good to have a liberated hubby, huh?
yeah. But yeah, no, I'm so looking forward to next week, and it's going to be amazing.
Well,
International Women's Day.
if
Yeah, really am.
we'll ask another question of each of you. If a young DJ came up to you, female DJ came up to you and said, I don't know, throws her hands up, what type of advice could you give an aspiring young female DJ? And I say young as far as entering into DJing.
I think to me,
So advise me.
Oh, you've got this, girl.
I mean, the way I started was basically beat matching. If you can match a beat, you've basically got it. I mean, well, to me, I'm not very technical. I mean, Kiddy's going to show me that in the next couple of weeks. But it's all about having fun. It's all about, if the beat matches, you've got it on. You don't really need to be so technical to be a DJ, I don't think. Learn as you go on. Just don't rush it. That's what my advice would be. Just don't rush it. The track doesn't mix in, and you're live, I get rid of it, because it's happened to me so many times.
Right.
And it is just about practicing.
Anyone else?
I'm just at the stage. So as I said, I've only heard a few lessons. So beat matching, that was, the first lesson, get that to the point, done that. Learning about keys, making sure the tracks are kind of in the same key, or that the keys will match. My last lesson was just on Thursday. So that's me starting to learn how to use the EQs, which when I left that lesson after learning that, I was absolutely buzzing, because that just took me to a whole new level. And it's just, now I need to practice. This is what I need to do. And I am absolutely loving it. So advice wise, I can't dish it out. So I'm quite happy to take any advice.
Well, you're above me, Cheryl, because I don't even know how to EQ at the minute.
Right.
Yeah.
It's in your
Showing
blood.
me, he's teaching me.
It's in your blood, Cheryl. You do great. You really do. That one mix the other night was like, it blew me away. Just totally
Yeah.
blew me away. And Jenny, how about you?
Well, I almost feel like you, Sharon, because I've also sort of, since I've sort of restarted the whole digital thing a couple of years ago, I still feel kind of new in the game as well. So I'm still learning. I don't know if you ever can sort of be sort of finished with learning, but I'm sort of having a sort of fairly steep learning curve myself. But what I've sort of enjoyed during my sort of restart is when I've had the time, sort of the opportunity to stand behind other DJs. They sort of let you go up to someone and then, yes, can I just look at what you're doing, and sort of learn and study. So I think one of the most valuable thing you can offer is sort of maybe your time, but also sort of let everyone else sort of access your own knowledge and sort of be helpful. And also always sort of think of other people like someone sort of, you just have to sort of share all the things that you can with everyone else, because that's that's been the most valuable for me, when someone actually lets me look at them or sort of get inspiration. So and also I think that regarding this with promotion, don't be shy. I would sort of tell everyone, don't censor yourself. Just think that you're good enough and do it. Don't wait until it's going to be perfect. So just do it, and just tell everyone that you think you're great, and they're going to believe you.
That's great.
So, yeah.
I love the fact that a lot of DJs now, on Twitch, the 4TM guys anyway, and ladies, they're adding extra cameras in. So as well as you're seeing them and you're watching them, they've also got the camera on the decks.
Yeah.
So you're getting to see what they're doing.
Yeah,
so I'm
that's great.
making a point of I'm turning my phone around. I'm like, okay, what are you doing? I'm watching, and I'm like, because it's interesting. I can maybe learn from this. Good that everybody's adding those extra cameras.
Yeah, especially nowadays where people are saying, yeah, these DJs, all they're doing is just touching. They're not doing anything. No, they're working the stems. Okay. Which, I never had stems before. And to be able to work with stems and, cut out the instruments and just have an a cappella going over another piece of music, it's just, that's my thrill. To be able to combine music with an a cappella over another piece of music, or to match two vocalists coming in together. That's a big thrill.
Yeah. What about you? What about you, Marilyn? Have you also had sort of people coming up to you and asking you to maybe get lessons or?
In the past, yeah. In the past, I have. Now all those people are really old, and they just like to listen. But no, it's the thing that I would tell an aspiring DJ is any type of negativity, allow it to roll off like water off a duck's back. But at the same time, don't allow that to push your ego to a point where you can't, you stop learning. You can always learn. It's like what you guys were saying, Jenny said it, Mel, Cheryl, you can always keep learning just by watching another person's technique, listening to the mixes. That's why I'm sort of like you, Cheryl. Even while I'm working, I have some music on in the background. If I hear a mix, it's like, okay, how did they do that? Okay. Or that's really, I love harmonics when you mix. And that's something that, I would tell aspiring DJs, like Mel said, start with the beat. But at the same time, like Jenny said, promote yourself. And Cheryl, you're there. Okay, you are there. I've heard your mix. You are there.
Definitely.
And, just don't become one of those DJs with a huge ego. Fortunately, I've got some exciting news. I'm definitely going to go see. We have Rez coming on the 28th of March here in Buffalo, and I'm going to be able to go to that show. I can't wait. I can't wait because there's a young lady who lives like 20 minutes away from me, in Niagara Falls, New York. And she just went down in her parents' basement and started teaching herself. And now she's finally really made it and broke through. And now she just headlined, I think, in Red Rocks in Arizona. And that's phenomenal. I have to congratulate her on that. So anything else that anybody wants to discuss at this point?
It is just one of them. It's like you just don't give up. There's always something to learn.
Yeah.
No matter what.
And
I'm like Cheryl. I'm still learning at the moment. But yeah, just do what we do.
And I respect you ladies.
Anything else?
But I think it's also really important to, one thing that I think most guys are really good at is sort of also helping each other.
Mm-hmm.
They always sort of, I find that guys are often supporting each other in a very sort of positive way. They lift each other up. They sort of bring someone along. They sort of push their sort of their friends, and they promote their friends. And I think that's something that also us women could do more. I think sometimes we forget how important that is. Mm-hmm. So if you want to succeed yourself, the best way is often also to promote someone else. Mm-hmm. So the more support you can give to the sort of fellow girl or woman, the better for yourself, I think. Yeah. So you have to be really generous. I think that's important.
Absolutely. And Cheryl, anything from you?
Yeah, just definitely make more of a point for supporting each other. But I think everybody does a great job anyway. I mean, even the guys as well. They're so supportive in the 4TM crowd anyway. I mean, the fact that I'm just not actually done anything, I've been accepted and welcomed with open arms. So yeah, just watch this space then.
Yes, we could summarize by saying it's not an easy road for a female DJ, but there have been very tenacious women with that fierceness that have made them very popular. And there are women out there that will help one another, as well as some men who will help women as well. I think, check out Underplayed when it opens. It should be on YouTube for free by then on March 8th, which is International Women's Day. Please go to Mixcloud, check out Female DJ Stage, all one word, if you're a female DJ, and join so we can start reposting some of your stuff. 4TheMusic.club. It's the number 4TheMusic.club, not com. Is always looking for new DJs and great talent. Please check us out on the web, on Facebook, Twitch, Mixcloud, just a number of different places. And we thank them very much for taking consideration for female DJs and allowing us to have a great event on March 8th, which is International Women's Day. And any closing statements, folks?
Not from me.
Okay.
I think you said it very well, Marilyn.
Okay. Ladies, thank you so very much. I really appreciate this, and I appreciate all the time and education that you've given me as well. So,
No, thank you, Marilyn.
Yeah.
Thank you.
have a
Thank
great
you.
evening.